Hey guys, since my documentary dropped on YouTube, I've received several questions from people. Especially one of the questions is what poverty taught me. And in this video, I will be answering why I'm so thankful growing up dirt poor in one of the worst environments you can ever imagine. Growing up poor is not fancy or something that most people would want or they would be dreaming about, but it comes with a lot of lessons. Lesson number one for me is this. Growing up poor gave me a life mission at the very early stage of my life. When you grow up in a poor environment, it's a place that you don't want to be. So immediately your goal is to be like, I hate this place. I gotta find a way to get the fuck out of here. And for me, that was the baseline of my mission first, before anything else. Why I'm saying this is, if you grow up in a healthy, nice environment where everything is being provided to you and you have no threats or enemies, even imaginary enemies like poverty that's just in the mind, you basically have to strive so much to just find what your mission is. So you have seen this before where children, even of rich people, they go into things like drugs and alcohol abuse and some weird lifestyle choices that people question them. Oh, why do they do this when they have everything provided to them? Well, if they don't actively search what their life's calling is, then they basically can easily derail. They have to work hard just to find a mission in life. Growing up poor gives you that mission by default. You're trying to get the F out of your environment, period. When I was in the hood, my primary goal was to just, how the fuck can I just get out of here, please? I'm tired of this life. I want to make money. I want to live a better life. I just want to be in a place where my life is not being threatened at every second. So I'm thankful for that. And that was the number one lesson that I learned from it, is that I've never been one of those guys that are struggling with the meaning of life. I don't know what to study. I don't know what to do with my life. No, I knew that the first thing, I have to make money. I have to develop skills. I have to develop myself if I want to get out of those kind of environment. Number two, I'm thankful for growing up poor because it made me more robust. If you compare someone who is born in challenging environments like I did, you realize quickly that they're robust because their tolerance for pain is a lot higher. My tolerance for pain is way, way higher because it takes a lot for me to feel pressure or to crumble. I'll give another example. For people who grew up in very fluffy and nice, comfortable environments, they're so fickle. They face one challenge in life, they crumble immediately. They either go into depression, they end up going to a psychologist, they spend months in having to deal with that, or they would spend so much time complaining about stress. These are problems or challenges that I didn't even know they exist. Like when I was growing up, there was no such thing as depression. There was no such thing as stress for so little things, okay? So like I saw that happening. Now, when I became a lot more comfortable, I started seeing people who don't have the same backgrounds as me. Like their challenges are much more different to mine. They're complaining about things that I don't even consider a problem at all. If you can find this in any poor neighborhood you can go, like people out there are not struggling with mental health and complaining about the smallest things in life because they're not worried about just how they emotionally feel, simply because they have real problems to solve. And that increases the threshold of your pain tolerance, which means it takes a lot more to put you in a state of crumble or to get depressed or to be unhappy. You're more thankful and you're basically more grounded. You celebrate the small things in life because you probably didn't have it before. And you just keep it moving. When bad things happen, you understand that life is hard, bad things happen, and you keep it going. Whereas if you never experienced that before, either you have to develop that personality on your own. That's why the online gurus are so big on YouTube. The people like Jordan Peterson are so big because they speak to a lot of people who grew up in the most comfortable environments in the world ever, and they never knew difficulty. And then when they're growing up, they started facing the hardships of life and they started crumbling, right? They're falling apart. And then they hop onto the gurus to sort of try to make them understand that, hey, life is difficult. You have to become harder than what you have been taught to be. Whereas that lesson for me is baked in. It's baked in my upbringing because I had to deal with poverty growing up and you didn't have a lot of room for small little problems to complain about. Third reason of why I'm so thankful growing up poor is that it reduced my comfort level. So for me, to be in a comfortable state, it doesn't really take a lot. So I'm not scared of taking risk, because if I take risk and things doesn't work out, as long as I'm not homeless, basically, it's an environment that I can tolerate. As long as I'm free and I can eat and have a place to stay, it doesn't have to be the most exotic place to be. I can handle it because I've been there before. So I'm just not scared of anything. I'm not scared of losing anything. I have very little attachments to material things because I never had them before anyway. And even when I was growing up and I started making money, it felt like all these things would disappear tomorrow. Maybe I still have that in me a little bit, where it feels like it's a dream sometimes, that is this all real? So I understand subconsciously that even if I had to lose everything, I'm going to be okay. Like I know I grew up in a place where we couldn't even afford milk, right? So if I had to be in a state where you're giving me coffee and tea without milk every day, it's just normal. So that is another thing that you learn when you're growing up poor, is that your tolerance for your baseline of your comfort level is minimal. So you are able to basically reduce your expenses really quickly, easily. You can start making money, and obviously your comfort level start to increase. You start living a lot more comfortably. But when things get hard, if the economy changes, you always need to adjust. So when it's time for adjustments, I can easily do that because I grew up in a environment where you basically survived on the minimal basics of life. Number 4, the reason why I'm thankful being poor, because I came out of it. I understand that being poor is just a mindset. All limits are basically all in your head. Like I told you guys before in my story, that when I was going to South Africa for the first time, my goal was to make 3,000 Rand, and that's it. And now I look at that and I laugh at myself, because that's the amount of money that I spend on dinner. That to me proves that limits, amounts of money, or whatever goals you have are basically capped inside your own head. Someone else might want to make 3,000 Rand like I did at the time. Someone else might want to make $1 million. These mentalities are the same but different. So it's up to you to either go for the 3,000 or to go for $1 million. But if you're in the poor mindset and the poor environments, basically your brain is very much capped. That's why you have to try everything you can do to escape those environments, to be in a place where you can start establishing bigger goals for yourself. Because you're in an environment where everyone is scared, you don't have abundance. There is the opposite of abundance, right? Everything is inadequate, so you basically accept the minimum of life. However, all you need to do is to change that and start thinking bigger and start wanting more, and you're also going to get more. So that's another lesson that I learned. So I apply that in everything I do today. I realize that, hey, I can always do better. If I can be happy if I make $100,000 today in one day, I should also be aware that I can as well make $1 million in one day. It's possible. Just like me at 16, 17 years old, trying to make 3,000, because I thought that if I can have 3,000 Rand, which is $200 in my arms, I felt like that was something that's impossible, right? It was unreachable if I could think of it like that. Now, I just have to switch that around and say, hey, how about 100 million? It's the same mentality. It's all made up inside your head. So those are the 4 lessons that I learned from being broke. There's obviously a lot more, but to me, these are the biggest takeaways. That's what I learned from poverty. I hope you guys learned something from this. Let me know what you think in the comments, or are there things here that you can relate as well? I'm sure a lot of you guys can probably relate to this, because maybe you're going through it right now, or you're also going through it. If you want to join my mentorship webinars, you're more than welcome. Link is in the description below. I would also appreciate it if you take the time to subscribe to this channel and like the video. It goes a long way, especially if you found this really helpful. I would also appreciate it if you share this with your friends and family who you think would find it helpful as well. Okay guys, I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.